Star Wars Squadrons just introduced a massive update, bringing us a new map in the form of Fostar Haven, 4 new components to equip to our starfighters, and a handful of nerfs to bring the game a bit more into balance. What's up you guys, I'm not amazing, I'm just mediocre, and this video is all about the new things we just received for version 3.0 of Star Wars Squadrons. Let's get right into it, talking about this brand new map of Fostar Haven, and you'll notice the very unique positioning of the frigates and cruisers right away. Unlike every other map that positions them straight ahead of the flagship, flanking its left and right sides, in here you'll find these cruisers and frigates in the belly of the station, while the flagships are outside in open space, and this definitely makes the flow of the battle feel different compared to other maps. We start out in generally open space, and this feels a lot like the introduction to a battle like Yavin, where there's very little cover for you to hide behind. But we quickly move to the belly of the station to destroy those frigates and cruisers. And here we find the difference of a lot of verticality. While there is plenty of cover, there's also a lot of open space in between that cover. And there's a lot of vertical distance in this area as opposed to the horizontal distance you might get in a map like Nadiri Dockyards or Galatan. Of course, once it's time to destroy the enemy flagship, you'll find plenty of avenues for approach, either through the belly of the station itself, or around the outside edges of space where there's large asteroids to dodge your starfighter in between. However, with this map being just 1 out of now 7, you'll probably not play it very much, and you'll honestly find the new components affecting your gameplay much more. There's 4 of them, and we're going to go into them really quick, just kind of touching base. I plan on making new starfighter loadout videos that take these new components into account, but that's for a later date. First up is the Boost Extension Kit, which you can equip to fighters and bombers, and this allows you to instantly fill your boost meter when activated, even if you don't have overcharged engines. However, you have to be aware that if you don't have overcharged engines, that boost meter will quickly dissipate, so you have to make sure you use it or else you will lose it. And even though you can equip this on all the fighters and bombers, I feel like this is most useful on the Y-Wing, and this will definitely be a part of a new Y-Wing loadout. You'll see that video coming in the future. Next up, we have the Ion rockets, and these have been added to the fighters and the interceptors, and these function just like the regular barrage rockets, except they do ion damage, 600 ion damage to be exact. And this probably would be most useful for either an interceptor kind of capital ship class where you're actually trying to do damage to capital ships, take down their shields and such, or it'd actually be really useful on a TIE interceptor class, which would allow you to easily rip the shields off any rebel pilot that you would encounter. After that, we have the prototype piercing torpedoes. Now this is a really interesting component. They deal 2,000 damage, which is only half as much as a proton torpedo, but feature the unique ability of passing through enemy shields. Exceptionally useful for destroying these subsystems on a flagship, and in particular, I would say for the rebels. Previously, if you wanted to take out the shield generators on a Star Destroyer whose shields were still operational, you'd have to approach from this exceptionally unique angle, which would give you the specific distance required to get a lock on, as well as being underneath the enemy shields. Now with the prototype piercing shields, the rebels have many more options for attacking the Star Destroyer shield generators, and will allow a lot more variety of approach for those situations. The final component on this list is going to be the rocket turret, now available on the support class. And this is specifically designed for attacking enemy capital ships. Remember that the Raiders and Corvettes count as capital ships. So now the support class can be a great deal more effective at dealing damage in battle, not only on defense, but offense as well. I particularly had a lot of fun with both turret components equipped, lasers and rockets, and then combining that with the ion cannons as a primary, so I would rip shields off any of the enemies and then let my turrets mop them up after that. Now the components weren't the only things we got with this update. We also got a couple of nerfs that are very important to be aware of. In particular, the rotary cannons and their auto-aim counterparts available on the bomber class have been nerfed by reducing your turn rate 60% when firing these weapons. Note that this doesn't happen when you're charging the weapon up, only when the lasers are actually coming out of the cannon, but it still makes you a great deal less effective at dogfighting than the bombers previously were, because it slows your turn rate down so much. This also has a huge effect when combined with the composite beam, which previously you had some amount of turn radius, but just a fraction. Now, if you're firing the rotary cannons and the composite beam at the same time, you actually have 0 turn rate. You cannot turn your bomber at all. So you better make sure you have your target squarely in your sights if you plan on hitting them with the rotary cannon and laser beam at the same time. The assault shield got a small nerf. It now reduces maneuverability to better balance its role as a capital ship assault and starfighter jousting tool. Starfighters with the overloaded shield now start with fully overcharged shields. Makes them feel a lot more useful. It just took way too long to get them fully overcharged, and now they start that way when you spawn. Pretty nice. We also have a small nerf to the guided burst cannons, which have a damage reduction down from 35% of the unguided variant to 28% of the unguided variant. And the A-wing shield regeneration rate has been reduced by approximately 1/3. The devs taking a direct shot at the survivability of A-wing pilots right there. Now, it remains to be seen whether these nerfs, buffs, and new components will actually shake up the meta of ranked fleet battles, but I'm hopeful we're going to be seeing some new tactics deployed in the months to come. I'm definitely going to be making some new loadout videos featuring the components that were just released and giving you some new ideas about how to be effective with them on the battlefield. And if you want to catch these awesome loadouts videos as soon as they're released, make sure you click the subscription button and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next one. And if you're a new player to Star Wars Squadrons, I highly recommend you click the video on your screen right now. It's the top 10 mistakes that any new player to Star Wars Squadrons needs to avoid making if they want to have a good time. I hope to see you in that next video, guys. In the meantime, I'm not amazing, I'm just mediocre, and I'm out.